Gemini's power is not always loud, nor does it need to shout to be felt. It is a current, subtle and electric, like lightning waiting to split the sky open. While other signs may cling to fixed paths, Gemini moves as air does, shifting, unpredictable, yet essential for life itself. This very fluidity is what makes them so powerful, and perhaps why so many others find themselves comparing, envying, and even resenting what cannot be contained. To be born under Gemini is to carry duality in the soul, light and shadow, laughter and silence, courage and hesitation, all existing in one heart that learns to dance with contradiction. The jealousy that Gemini awakens in others rarely comes from malice. It comes from longing. People see in Gemini a life that refuses to be caged, a presence that can light up a room with words, ideas, and wit, while simultaneously slipping away into introspection the next moment. They see adaptability that looks like magic, the ability to rise from failure faster than others expect, and the natural charm that disarms even the most guarded hearts. That freedom is enviable because it reminds others of the chains they still carry. Before we go deeper, I invite you to subscribe to Astro Gemini so you can continue this journey of discovery alongside us, unraveling the mysteries of your soul. Gemini's strength is not just social or intellectual, it is spiritual. Imagine being born with wings that never fold, constantly nudging you toward new horizons. This is what Gemini carries, a restlessness that is not aimless, but divinely orchestrated. Where others fear change, Gemini finds rebirth. Where others mourn endings, Gemini perceives beginnings. It is a power that often confuses people, because what they call instability is in truth an initiation into higher wisdom. The envy comes when others realize that Gemini does not stay broken for long, and no matter how many storms come, Gemini always finds a way to reinvent, to turn the ashes of yesterday into the spark of tomorrow.
Part of this magnetism lies in Gemini's ability to hold paradox without losing identity. They are both student and teacher, listener and speaker, dreamer and realist. They can connect with the darkness of sorrow, yet still choose laughter as a form of survival. People envy this balance because most of us get stuck on one side, either too rational or too emotional, too hopeful or too cynical. Gemini shows that one can embody both, weaving contradictions into wisdom. And in a world that often demands conformity, Gemini dares to live in multiplicity, reminding others of the infinite possibilities they too once believed in, but perhaps forgot along the way. The source of Gemini's power often lies in the voice, not only the sound of it, but the truth it carries. When a Gemini speaks, people listen, even when they pretend not to. There is a rhythm in their words, a spark in their ideas, and a daring honesty that cuts through illusions. Some may call it manipulation, but in truth, it is resonance. Gemini simply mirrors back to people the truths they are afraid to confront. This is why others envy them. They wish they could express themselves so freely, so intelligently, so vividly. The jealousy grows because Gemini holds the gift of language, and with it, the ability to shape minds and hearts. But this gift is not always easy to bear. To speak with such clarity often means to feel misunderstood, to be both adored and criticized in equal measure. Gemini learns early that envy is the shadow of their light. Friends may admire their brilliance, while secretly resenting the ease with which they navigate social spaces. Lovers may fall for their charm, but later accuse them of being too free, too difficult to pin down. This tension is painful, yet it shapes the soul of Gemini into resilience. They learn to breathe even in the spaces where they are judged, and that is a silent, powerful lesson to those who watch from the outside.
The jealousy Gemini attracts is also tied to their adaptability. They can walk into chaos and find patterns, walk into despair and find hope, walk into endings and uncover beginnings.
other signs envy this survival instinct because it feels unfair. How can someone transform pain so quickly when others feel trapped in it for years? But the truth is, Gemini's adaptability is not luck. It is forged in inner conflict and the constant dialogue of their dual nature. They have lived with contradictions since birth, and so life's twists and turns only remind them of the very energy they already carry within. Their survival, their reinvention, is not a trick. It is their nature. This is why Gemini is both admired and misunderstood, celebrated and envied. They embody motion in a world that clings to stillness. And yet their greatest power is not in leaving people behind, but in showing them what it means to be limitless. If you're feeling this truth, if you've ever seen this energy in yourself or in someone you know, take a moment now to like this video. Your presence here is part of this energy exchange, and it helps spread the message to others who are searching for understanding. There is a reason Gemini so often becomes the mirror in other people's lives. They reflect not only what is beautiful, but also what is hidden. When someone feels captivated by a Gemini, it is rarely just because of looks or charm. It is because Gemini awakens something dormant, a forgotten dream, a silenced voice, a desire for freedom that was buried beneath fear. And while this awakening can be inspiring, it can also stir jealousy. People envy the way Gemini seems to live unapologetically, following curiosity like a compass, while they themselves remain tied to expectations, routines, and the weight of what will others think.
The truth is, Gemini's path is not without cost. Their freedom often isolates them. Their constant search for new horizons means they leave behind what others cling to. Many mistake this as carelessness, but it is courage. To step away from comfort, to shed old skins again and again, takes more strength than staying in what is familiar. The jealousy that others project onto Gemini is often a reflection of their own hesitation. They wish they could dare like Gemini dares. They wish they could walk away from what no longer serves them and trust that something better will appear on the horizon. Gemini's spiritual gift is motion, but also connection. They weave invisible threads between people, between ideas, between worlds. Where some see division, Gemini sees bridges. This is why they often attract both admiration and suspicion. They belong everywhere and nowhere at once. Their soul knows the language of strangers, the music of laughter, the silence of grief. They can stand in the middle of contradictions and not be consumed by feeling. Others envy this versatility because to them it looks like invincibility. But Gemini knows it is not invincibility. It is vulnerability worn like armor. The ability to feel deeply while refusing to be destroyed by feeling. This is why Geminis shine in the eyes of many and sting in the pride of others. Their power lies in being both fragile and unbreakable, a paradox that confuses those who seek to define life in absolutes. If you've ever crossed paths with a Gemini who changed you, who left a mark on your heart, or challenged your thinking, you know this truth. And if you are a Gemini yourself, you have felt the weight of being envied for a freedom you didn't even choose. It was simply born into you. Before we move to the closing reflections, I invite you to share in the comments your date of birth and your zodiac sign. This space is a constellation of souls, and your presence adds to its light.
The power of Gemini is not about domination, nor is it about being above others. It is about carrying the wisdom of air, invisible, untouchable, yet indispensable. Air can be gentle, like a breeze that soothes a restless night, or fierce, like a storm that shifts the course of destiny. This is why Geminis make other signs jealous. They remind everyone that true strength is not about control, but about flow. They do not force life, they dance with it. And in that dance, they discover freedoms others spend lifetimes chasing. Gemini's light lies in their ability to transform pain into story, silence into music, and endings into beginnings. This is why their presence lingers long after they've left a room. People envy not only what Gemini does, but what they awaken in others, a glimpse of who they too could become if they dared to embrace change instead of fearing it. To be close to a Gemini is to be reminded of possibility, and for some, that reminder burns like envy because it reveals how much they have denied themselves.
But for those willing to learn, Gemini is not a rival, they are a guide. Their contradictions teach balance, their laughter teaches resilience, their constant rebirth teaches hope. The jealousy they attract is proof of their light, but it is also an invitation for others to stop envying and start transforming. Because the truth is, the power others see in Gemini lives within every soul. It only asks to be awakened. So if you are a Gemini, never dim your fire to make others comfortable. Your power is not arrogance, it is a gift. And if you are not a Gemini, but you feel that sting of envy, let it guide you inward. Ask yourself, what freedom, what truth, what voice am I denying? Because the power you admire in Gemini is not foreign to you. It is a mirror of your own sleeping potential. If this message touched you, let your energy ripple outward. Like this video to help others feel what you felt here. And don't leave without subscribing to Astro Gemini, where we continue to walk together through the mysteries of astrology, soul, and transformation. Share your date of birth and zodiac sign in the comments below, and let us see the constellation we are forming together. For Gemini's story is not theirs alone. It is a reminder that within each of us lies the power to rise, to transform, and to shine so brightly that even envy becomes silent before our light.